Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Terratech with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the R&D mode where today I've got a very limited amount of time, but I really want to do this small build before we build our true skybase. Today, I want to test out the Better Future Cyber Disc Laser, because this thing has the potential of being easily one of my favourite weapons, and may be incredibly overpowered, but at the same time, I'm not quite sure if that's actually how the weapon's going to turn out. Now, in the original test, we very quickly realised this thing is very powerful because of its pinpoint accuracy. This laser will track the enemy apparently into the sky now, and because of that, it will always go for the correct block. It will always simply core out the enemy, going towards the enemy's cab, or at least it seems like that. Either the cab or the centre of mass, either way, it's focusing on one very specific spot. But the problem is, because of the lack of any force the laser generates, if an item is knocked off and the enemy is repairing, that causes a lot of problems, because blocks get knocked off at actually quite a high health, at least on the enemies, but then, once they're knocked off, that isn't applied anymore, so if they're being healed, that's a lot of health you need to get through. Of course, this will drain the enemy's batteries, but so does pretty much any other weapon with any splash damage. So, is the laser actually as powerful as it seems? Or is it going to be more of a niche choice? That's what I want to test out today. So I want to have a vehicle with at least 6 of these, perhaps more. And it's going to be quite a simple vehicle. It's just going to be a ground vehicle with the lasers in a sort of almost like a mouth sort of shape, having them in a row here, then a row on the top, maybe on the sides as well, we'll see. So, I'll get building, and let's just see how good the laser actually is. So, just to show what I actually mean about the whole block getting in the way, as you can see here, this block here is dead. That's why I'm able to move it if I so desire. But, as you can see, it's being healed. And it's almost being healed at the same rate we're doing damage. I will eventually destroy this block, but by this time, this would probably be killing us. So splash damage weapons do have that advantage. Of course, I can just do this, but during a fight, that's going to be really fiddly, especially if the enemy's moving around, so that's not really a viable option. I still think the laser's going to be amazing. I just want to see how practical it is, really. Quickly testing out lasers on the side. Let's see if they have the ability to target what we're trying to target in a decent targeting way. Yeah, but it doesn't take much before they're no longer aiming correctly. Yep, okay, so definitely want them horizontal. Cool. Also, we sort of look like a buggy at the moment. Honestly, I just put these down so I could see the size of the thing, but maybe that's the idea we'll go with. Definitely not like this, though. Other question, which one of these weapons tracks faster? Let's have them both aiming correctly, okay. Wow. Okay, so definitely the smaller one tracks faster. I wonder how much damage the difference is, though. That's interesting, because that could be a good counter, then, to small, fast enemies. This one, definitely not. This one, yes. But once again, bit of a problem if they're placed like this. They just don't have the firing arc up and down. Okay. Let's do a quick test then for damage. Let's see how strong these items actually are. There's quite a simple way to test that. So let's see which gets broken first. I would assume this one. Yep, there we go. That's interesting. Okay, yep, so definitely stronger, although it is also, of course, larger, so it can have less of them. But that tracking speed is enough to really make me think that perhaps the small one will be more useful overall. Yeah, let's go with the smaller variant. Okay, so what about something like this? The idea is we'll have loads of the smaller lasers on the side, all facing forward, so they can only fire if there is something indeed at the side, and those are for tracking, and if something tries to get behind us, well, they're in for a nasty surprise. And then we front load with the larger lasers. That way we can be testing out all of the laser types, and honestly, this will be quite a good, well-rounded, very easy to use vehicle. I think that'll be alright. All we need to do now then is just smooth out the edges on the side, do something about this, because that just looks so blocky, it's ridiculous. But honestly, I don't even think it's going to look too terrible. It's not going to look particularly exciting, but if it works, it works. I also want some more speed though, so probably going to add more of the ion drives on the inside. That also helps with climbing. Can we get one of the batteries? There we go. Okay. At least now we have an idea what we're doing. I know I often say this, but sometimes it's more true than other times. I have absolutely no idea what I'm currently doing with this craft. Absolutely no idea at all. So, I guess I'm going to do this. Sure, that seems reasonable in my head for the second, being the second is currently being the second. And there. Sure. Now we have 6 lasers on one side. We can add another 2 there, that's fine. Or at least another 1. Then we can add some of the larger lasers at the top, and then we can test out all the different laser types. There's loads of battery power underneath, and this thing currently handles incredibly well. Essentially, it makes a good test vehicle, but that's probably about it. But yeah, good test vehicle. It even has a little sky anchor, because why not? I mean, that's pretty cool. But still running into the problem of items being healed. Still though, that's going to drain a lot of battery power. Okay, I continue to build. At this point, I think I've gone a little bit over the top, and now we're just testing out so many weapons, I don't think it really matters if we have any problem with them. But at the same time, I really like lasers, so that's fine. Plus, if we then allow an enemy to go to our front, we then fire with far fewer. So then we're testing with only 1, 2, 3, or 5. Ah, now I've said that, I kind of want to keep this as it is. That way, we can do that test. Loads, loads, only a few. Yep, that actually makes complete sense. Oh, test vehicle. I think that's what we're going to do. Also, I am definitely keeping the base of this vehicle. I know, it looks boring, it looks blocky, but my god, it's easy to use, and that way I can always build up with other weapons. Essentially, anything above this layer is going to be all the new weapons we test out, and that makes complete sense to me. So I'm just going to fill this full of batteries and all sorts of other gubbins, try and slope the front a little bit, and then we'll go into the test mode, into the creative mode, and test out the lasers. Of course, this isn't testing out the larger lasers, but those can be easily swapped in later, and then we'll see how they do. Okay, solar panels been added, a few more fuel tanks, this thing is good to go. And honestly, despite the fact it looks like a block, this is actually a pretty good vehicle overall due to simply loads of shielding, loads of repair, and loads upon loads of battery power, in addition to being fast and handleable. And it even deals with cliffs absolutely fine, with no issue whatsoever, so it should, honestly, be a really good campaign vehicle eventually. Just, I'll try and make it look a lot prettier when that day comes, especially when I have way more time on my hands. So, let's go to creative, let's find some enemies, let's see if this really works out. Can lasers be your main singular weapon, or are they going to need other weapons to back them up? I'm hoping they can be a main weapon. I just forgot I was anchored then for a second. I was about to say, that's really weird, the wheels aren't seemingly working. I don't have a brain. Or maybe I do, but there's an off switch somewhere. It's been turned off, and then the switch has been broken or hidden. I've also forgot radars. Oh my lord. It's just meant to be a simple build. Even I should be able to do this. I've been playing this game for years. That's enough battery. Let's get started. And there's a target right over there. Hello there. Let's go with just the front lasers. So this is far fewer than maximum. Well, it is shredding blocks off, but of course this thing doesn't have a repair bubble, which is nice. Oh, I think the cab is there. And there it goes. Well, that was very efficient. Of course, the enemy did get stuck and didn't seem to have any bubbles or anything, but still, it worked. Could have swore I just saw... No, I am going mad. You'll never know what I think that I done see. Okay, there's a bigger fellow over there. Let's allow the broadside to happen here. Oh, wait, no. It's actually smaller. Never mind. Still gonna broadside, though. Is that meant to be a mouth at the top? Ah! You do seem to get stuck on blocks quite a lot. I've got a feeling that if the enemy is medium to large sized and there's a lot of redundancy with blocks, especially around the core, it could actually be quite irritating to get through things. How good is this against trees? Excellent! It can destroy nature. 10 out of 10 weapon. Oh, hello there. Just use the front weapon. This one does have a repair bubble. Thankfully it's moving, so blocks are falling away from the target. That one's got stuck, and we're now damaging the same block over and over again. And that is the weakness right there. Showcased. Still, not terrible. I think it will drastically drain anyone we fight, but as soon as there's a block stuck, you're no longer knocking off new blocks like a missile would, because the enemy can easily have repair bubbles and shields left and still lose blocks. But if this thing gets stuck, then there's a problem. You need to be moving if that happens, or the enemy needs to be moving. Okay. There's something weird about using the Sky Anchor on a ground vehicle. It's just unsettling, slowly being dragged back. Because it feels like you have freedom, but no, the freedom is an illusion. Wake up, people! Sky Anchors are everywhere. We all have one. Once more onto the breach. Now with larger lasers. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the larger lasers tracking is far slower. No major difference in terms of sheer damage, but yeah, that tracking difference. Okay. Not as fast as a missile. Let's face it, this is not going to take... Hello, random gun falling from the sky. This is not going to take the crown away from the missiles and the cannons, but certainly, I think this is going to be a very, very viable weapon for those who like pew-pew lasers, even if they are still incredibly loud. There we are. Hello there, Mr. Mortar and Mr. Megaton. Now, if the enemy keeps on moving like they are here, we are knocking off quite a few items, but if they stay still and we stay still, then problems occur. But still, very powerful, and I love the fact they can shoot all around. I feel like these will make a fantastic secondary weapon, and although we are having huge success here, I still cling to my notion that they're not the best primary weapon if that's the only thing you've got. Or maybe they will be. Maybe I'm wrong. It has been known to happen on rare occasion. If the definition of rare completely changed overnight. Goodbye, nature. A hill! Please prove me right that you can deal with hills. Thank you. Oh! Although you do want to fly. Unintended side effect. No, I refuse to kill something as gloriously named as Pizza Ninja. Live on, little buddy. May your pizzas forever be delicious. Ah, so a way to stop this thing from trying to fly is to simply use the thrusters. Don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree. Yes, nature will never get in our way. Oh. Yes, see? Told ya. Completely confident in myself. 100%. Ooh, an enemy. Hello there, fella. Welcome to the world. And welcome to science. Against certain enemies, yeah, the laser is phenomenal. Note to self, ion thrusters need to be higher up, regular thrusters need to be lower down. Or just always use both at the same time and then everything's fine. One more terrifying foe has been sent to the depths of Terratech hell. Where everything is asymmetrical and Lathrix is the only builder. Ignore what's happening on the screen right now. Lasers are definitely the ultimate small tech squasher. Burner. General weapon. Ooh. Damn it, nature. Ah. Long-range weaponry. One of my many weaknesses. Excuse me, mate. Your cab's right at the front. Would you mind going back where you was? That would have been great. There you go. Oh, that's one cab of many. Okay, you know what? I'm starting to take back several things I've said. I don't think that these are a terrible main weapon, as long as you have enough of them. I still think there's going to be the odd moment where things go horribly wrong, and then suddenly Lathrix will be right, but for the most part, yeah, they do seem to be pretty darn reliable. Really? That repair bubble doesn't cover that? Really? Really? It covers almost all of the base section, and normally that's all it requires, not so much actual wheel itself. Well, Lathrix learned a lesson this day. Always use Geocorp repair bubbles. Even then, okay, yeah, in that case, we need to use them in better places. So after killing about 10 more techs, I can confirm the lasers are a truly fantastic weapon, but also, batteries will always detonate if they take the damage, which would normally cause them to simply drop off, which means, yeah, as soon as these lasers are hitting batteries, then it's game over for the enemy, really. The only time you get batteries, of course, is when the enemy's cab has died and a battery had survived at that point, in which case the battery will drop to the floor. Maybe there's other ways that can happen. That seems to be, oh, the standard. Ow. Also, yeah, this thing is way too floaty. So, all I want to do now is test out versus a larger enemy using only the front laser. So that means 2 of the larger variants and 3 of the smaller, because, well, that's not much, really, is it? In comparison to most techs, I mean, honestly, even the side weapons, normally you have more of most weapons than this. I wouldn't say this is a massively armed craft, but it seems to be mowing through everything. As soon as it hits a weak point, it wins. So, all I need to find is a friend. A friend who I can shoot with lasers. A true friend. The best of friends. A floaty friend. Can I just, like, permanently fly? Oh, no, because of nature. Ha-ha! Take that, nature. You don't win the day this time. For a second, I thought the moon had a moustache. One large opponent. That's all I'm asking for. You have been judged unworthy, creature. Oh, come on! Oh, come on! Oi, bouncy! I am the exterminator of little techs. Fear me. For I am the reaper of souls. And the taker of blocks. The harvester of oil? The destroyer of trees to also destroy myself, because I'm not paying attention, because I'm waffling on. And there's the battery, which means in a second, boom. Okay, just using the smaller weapons, well, the smaller number of weapons, aka less weapons. Nope, I'm not going to help. I'm not going to move items out of the way, even though I very easily could. And here's the problem I was talking about, but honestly, it's so easy to fix. Either A, you move, B, they move, or C, move your mouse and do this. Or this. Right now, those are stuck. Yeah, not quite as strong as a lot of the explosive weapons, but that's always been the way of Terratech, and I think, honestly, at this point, I'm just repeating myself. Explosive weapons, at the moment, and as always, have been the strongest in Terratech. This new laser system is awesome, it's amazing that it ignores shields, I love it to bits, but, yep, still, it ain't no missile. And with that final thing, Thank you so much for watching. I'm afraid I really am all out of time for today's video. The next Terratech video will be a much more planned out video in which we build the Skyhold. Today's just been a lot of fun. I've just wanted to mess around with the lasers, honestly. I wanted to mess around with a few building techniques on the inside, which I want to put into use later on. And I do really, really like this tech, even though it is an ugly brick. And it definitely needs these thrusters up. That doesn't take much effort, and on flat ground, controls great. Occasionally wants to become a bird, but ignoring the bird status. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Terratech is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Next time, I promise I'll actually think about things a little bit more. Also, I love sky anchors so much. I didn't press anything then. Goodbye.